Okay, the hour being 7 o'clock, I'm going to call this meeting to order. If we could have our fire chiefs lead us in the pledge. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Mayor, I approved the agenda.
You make a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. First item on the agenda is proclamations for National Night Out. So I'm going to read the proclamation. And then if anybody wants to speak to it, they're welcome to. Whereas National Night Out is a nationally recognized night to bring communities and law enforcement together to build relationships, develop a partnership with your neighbors and the men and women who protect our community. And whereas the National Night Out provides a unique opportunity for the city of Green River to join forces with thousands of other communities across the country in promoting cooperative police community crime prevention efforts. And whereas the citizens of our neighborhoods play a vital role in assisting the Green River Police Department through joint crime, drug, and violence prevention efforts. And whereas police community partnerships, neighborhood safety, awareness and cooperation are important themes of the National Night Out program. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Pete Rest, Mayor, do hereby call upon all citizens of Green River to join the Green River Police Department in supporting the National Night Out on Saturday, August 13th. Chief, did you want to address this?
Certainly, Mayor, Council, thank you for that proclamation. I just wanted to say how excited I am about National Night Out and that it's coming up, and look forward to it every year. We've been doing this since mid-1990s. I think it's probably about 98 that we did our first National Night Out, and was Rookie of the Year, or one of the Rookie of the Year National Night Outs across the country. National Night Out is about solving the issues that plague law enforcement across the country. And that is lack of connection to the community. We have to always understand that we are here to serve the community, and the community here has a role to play in public safety as well. And we need to have conversations. We need to be talking about that. And we need to know that we're in this together and that we can only solve crime together. And that's what this is all about, is having those conversations. Jamie Green's been doing a great job of putting this together this year. We already have several businesses that are going to have block parties and several block parties from citizens. And so anything anybody else can do, council, citizens that might be watching, to further this effort, I look forward to having a great time on the 13th and meeting everybody.
Council, let's
Yes, I will be here. One more. Thank you.
Okay, next up is presentations, item A, Unsung Hero Award. Councilman Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight's my privilege to present this award. I'd like to read the plaque. The governing body of Green River is privileged to recognize the passion, unconditional commitment, and enduring dedicated service of Jeff Chappell for excellence in Christian education and leadership, plus rescuing a life through adoption. And we'd sure like to hear that story tonight. So if you want to come up, we'd like to present it out front here. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, we just wanted to thank everybody, and it's truly an honor to be presented this award, and just introduce my family here as they came up. So my wife, Julie, and then our oldest, Morgan, and then Sadie, Joel, Seth, and then Michaela's one we just adopted here. And that'll be finalized in September. But just about some of us, Julie and I both grew up in the Southeast. I grew up in South Carolina and she grew up in Georgia, and God moved us out to Utah and we helped out in a church there. And my background's in education. And so I was a teacher's aide in Utah at a public school there while we helped out at a church. And then God moved us here to Green River. And so now I'm pastor at Green River Bible Baptist Church. And we've almost been here almost now 7 years. And we have the Green River Christian Academy there. And so that's really has grown and done well. And so we have 27 kids enrolled for this year. And so we're excited about that, and all that's ramping up for us. And we're ready to go. And so we have 3 main teachers. My wife is a huge part of that as secretary and everything else you can imagine that goes along with that. But about a year ago, we really felt led to look more into adoption, and we wanted to share a little bit about kind of how we went through that. And God worked on both mine and my wife's hearts about really just giving another child a godly home. God's blessed us with being able to work with kids. We've done that our whole adult lives, and as educators, and just working in ministries. And so we really started going through the process and learned more. We went through fundraising, a lot of fundraising that goes along with it, a lot of our own funds, but God kind of blessed through that, and the community helped out huge. We had some community yard sales, and the community just gave us stuff. They just donated things, and that was huge for the city. So, I mean, just for us to be really newbies in the town, and the city just to kind of rally around us was huge. And so we were able to match with an adoption agency in Florida. And in April, we actually had a disruption. So we were matched with a mom, and right when she went into labor, Julie was ready to fly out, but the mom decided to keep her baby. And so she, of course, has that decision, but just for us, with the expectation of adopting then, was crushing. But God had something else for us with Michaela. And so about a month later in May, we were matched with her birth mom. And so she was due July 12th, but she was born June 12th. And so a month early, everybody kind of had to rush out to Florida. So she was exposed to drugs in utero. And so she went through that. She was in the NICU for 10 days. And but she is doing very well. She's healthy, eating a lot. So now 7 weeks old, and everybody loves her. And we're glad to be able to show her off. But we are so thankful that she's part of our family. And now we can raise her in a godly home and be able to just give her the love that she deserves. So we just want to thank you all so much for the opportunity, and thank you for the award. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate it. Let's see. We have one other issue, and then I'm going to take a short recess. Just in case anybody wants to leave and they're able to, okay? So the next issue is citizen requests and other communications. Are there anybody in the audience that's not on the agenda that wants to address the council? Yes. Just go ahead and identify yourself too, if you would.
All right, so I'm Tristan Francis and I live over on this side of town. Back in September, there was a band, something going on down on Railroad. It went on very late at night. It ended up being after 12, live music playing. I had to call the police department trying to find out what's going on. I'm a mother of 5 children, 3 of which who could not sleep. I was in my home, could hear the music. I'm told there is an event that is going to be going on the 13th, obviously, that is going to be going on till 12 at night. My concern is that's an outdoor event. Last time I had this issue, I could hear it. I don't live right by the railroad. I'm actually just up over this way. My children weren't able to sleep. I don't understand how we can do that here past late hours when we have people that work, have children. There was profanity in the music that my kids could hear. I'm all for supporting businesses in our town, but I do think that there needs to be a cap on what time things shut down, because there are people that work Saturdays and Sundays and have to get up late or get up early. So my concern is, why are we letting this go on? If I can't have a party in my front yard till 2 a.m. without getting called and, you know, something happening, why are we letting it go on here? Like I said, I'm all for supporting businesses, but I think that there needs to be a time frame and not till 2 a.m.
And not till when?
2 a.m.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Tristan. Do we have any comments from council on this at the moment, or you're going to speak to it later on? Okay. Okay. We're not going to ignore you. Okay. Now we're about to get into the public hearing part of the meeting. I'm going to take a 30-second recess, and you guys are welcome to, if you probably don't want to sit through the whole meeting. So you're certain, yeah. So thank you guys for coming by, and congratulations for all you do. Okay. I'm going to resume the meeting right here, and the item 7, public hearings. Item A, public, under item 7, public hearing on the petition to vacate the alley right-of-way that runs from North First West Street to Center Street in Block 8 of the original town of the Green River Platte. The purpose of this hearing is to allow citizens the opportunity to provide comments. So I'm opening the public hearing to any citizens that would like to make any comments on this alley vacation. We did talk about this. So this is the second hearing. We did talk about it at the last council meeting. Is there anybody in the audience that's here to make any comments on the alley vacation? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. So the next item is resolutions, and in relation to the public hearing, item A, consideration of a resolution to vacate and transfer by quitclaim deed to the adjacent property owner the alley right-of-way in Block 8 of the original town of the Green River Platte. Is there anybody that wants to speak to this? Amy?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So we had the intent to vacate back in, and you guys approved it by resolution on June 5th. So tonight was the public hearing. And at this point, we are going to do if the governing body finds that the vacation is in the best interest of the city of Green River, it will approve the vacation by resolution and transfer by quitclaim deed. And I just wanted to note that Cody Woods, Western Engineer, is here, with Western Engineering is here if anybody had any questions for him.
Okay, thank you. So before I entertain a motion, does anybody have any questions, comments? It's a pretty straightforward thing. We've already talked about it a little bit. Okay, we'll entertain a motion.
Mayor,
Councilman Kilpack.
I move to approve the resolution vacating and transferring the quitclaim deed to the adjacent property owner of the alley right-of-way that runs from North First East West Street to Center Street in Block 8 of the original town of Green River Platte as legally described within the resolution.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Kilpack, seconded by Councilman Bushman. Is there any further discussion?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman
I
Kilpack.
just have one comment. I'm surprised that this didn't happen when they built the county buildings over that
Yeah.
alleyway. So it's been vacated for 30 or 40 years already, however long it was. So it just surprised me. So I'm glad we're cleaning that up right now. So
Yeah, not uncommon. I can tell you that. That's for sure.
that's what happens when you live in a good little teeny town.
That's right. That's right. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, consideration of a resolution authorizing the submission of an ARPA grant application.
Mayor and Council, Ryan Russ, Government Affairs and Grants. As you know, back in the last legislative session, there was some discussion about using some of the ARPA funding for water and sewer wastewater projects. And the city had an opportunity to work closely with the legislature on that. That did pass, and there is now $50 million available statewide for a grant program with a max of 7.5 million. So we're coming to you tonight to ask your permission to apply for that full $7.5 million for a grant for the construction of the wastewater treatment plant replacement project. If we receive it, the grant will represent about 17% of the current expected cost of that. As we know, the cost has gone up significantly since we first were looking at the project. And this will also be accompanied by a request to increase the current state revolving fund loan that we currently have with SLIB to meet that full amount. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions, Ryan? Go ahead, Councilman Zimmerman.
I just want to say you're doing a great job, Ryan. And if people understood what kind of funds you bring into the city and how that bolsters our budget, just great job.
Well, I appreciate that, Councilman, and certainly the Public Works Department has been doing a great job on this one. I really appreciate all that they're doing as well.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, we'll entertain a motion.
Mayor,
Councilman Berg.
I move to approve the resolution authorizing the submission of an application to the State Land and Investment Boards for a water and sewer ARPA grant in the amount of $7.5 million for the construction of the wastewater treatment plant replacement facility project on behalf of the governing body for the city of Green River, and authorize the mayor to sign all pertinent loan documents.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Berg, seconded by Councilman Bushman. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item number 9, council action items. Consideration of a landowner agreement for the Scots Bottom Bank and Habitat Restoration Project.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Brad Rainey, Parks and Recreation Director. This has been a project that's been in the works for quite a few years, for about 5 years. Trout Unlimited has been the lead on this project, and there's been a lot of partners involved, Wyoming Game and Fish, and then we're the kind of the landowner. They've presented to you before, but just in a nutshell, they're going to be restoring the riverbank below the FMC bridge. When that bridge was installed, it caused a lot of erosion to happen. The park is falling into the river right now, and they have done all the fundraising and achieved grants to be able to go to construction. It'll protect our park. It's going to improve fish habitat. That's Trout Unlimited's angle there. They hope to have a nice fishing hole for the residents here, and maybe even be an attraction to people to come from out of town. In order for them to proceed with their work, they need us to sign this agreement acknowledging that we're allowing them to do the work there. And also it states that we're not going to go in after they have raised all this money and change their work. So they need a period to allow the improvements to achieve the habitat benefit they're looking for. I'll entertain any questions if you have any. Galen did get a chance to review this today and approved the agreement.
Okay. So any questions from council? Councilman Kilpack?
I'm of course 100% in agreement of this, but I do have a question. On the east side of the river, just past the bridge that goes across where it's pretty much washing away and there's a walking path along there, it's almost gone.
Mhm.
Are they going to build a bank up there where it allows that walking path to have more room, or is it still, are they just going to go right up to the edge of the bank?
Good,
do you
good,
know?
yeah, good question. Yeah, the plans are to extend the riverbank out. So it's like a big project. So that walking path can be restored. Actually, part of it did go into the river. People have kind of created a new path around.
And that's a good thing, because sometimes I get kind of wobbly running down there and I don't want to fall in the river.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure the path will solve that problem, but just kidding. Does anybody else have any? Councilman Zimmerman?
You had mentioned earlier that this was sort of Trout Unlimited's angle. It would have been appropriate to say Trout Unlimited angler.
Well, yeah, that's why you're here.
That is
Councilman
why
Zimmerman
I'm here.
to
That is
come
what,
up with
thank
these
you.
things.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, it seems just obvious. Any other questions or comments? Okay, let's have a motion then.
Mayor,
Councilman Zimmerman.
I move to approve the landowner agreement for the Scots Bottom Bank and Habitat Restoration Project pending legal approval.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Zimmerman, seconded by Councilman Berg. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item B, consideration to accept the fiscal year 21 State Homeland Security Program grant agreement with the Wyoming Office of Homeland Security.
Mayor and council. So as you remember, back in May, we submitted 3 applications to the Department of Homeland Security. One of those was for the purchase of 3 generators and transfer switches to be placed at 2 treated water tanks and 1 remote site to provide backup power in the event of a power loss. That application was decided to be funded with leftover money from the 2021 grant fiscal year. The other 2 were also funded, but we'll see those a little bit later. So this is a project that is 100% federal funds. There are some additional costs to do the work, and that was included in this budget. But with that, it's just simply accepting the grant agreement, and I'll entertain any questions.
Anybody have any questions for Ryan? Seems pretty straightforward. Okay. Entertain a motion.
Mayor,
Councilwoman Bushman.
I move to accept the fiscal year 21 State Homeland Security Program grant agreement with the Wyoming Office of the Homeland Security.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Bushman, seconded by Councilman Zimmerman. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item C is consideration to authorize the submission of a Wyoming Family to Family Health Information Center mini grant application.
And Mayor and Council, the item you have before you tonight is just authorization to seek that grant. It's a small grant made by an organization out of the University of Wyoming, or at least with ties to University of Wyoming. They've heard what we're doing with Buddy in the therapy dog program. They're very excited about it. Martha's been over there and presented to them about the program. They're listing or have approved these grants, I think 10 of them across the state, if I'm not mistaken. And so we're going to apply for one of those, and it's to sustain the program. But he's been doing great work. We've had him involved with multiple interviews within our police department. He's been involved in helping de-escalate kids throughout the school district last year. There's a pending trial coming up that involves a child that Buddy's probably going to be in court for his first time, lying underneath the witness stand to help provide comfort to that child. So we're getting everything out of Buddy that we planned. The costs are still there. I mean, unfortunately, he's got a few allergies, so we've spent some money on vet bills. We've done some other things like bought a obstacle course for him. And so these funds will just help continue that program and make it so the city's not carrying 100% of the burden there.
Excellent. Anybody have any questions or comments? Okay, we'll entertain a motion again.
Mayor,
Go ahead, Councilman Zimmerman.
I move to authorize the police department to apply for a Wyoming Family to Family Health Information Center mini grant to support the therapy canine program.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Zimmerman, seconded by Councilman Bushman. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. It's not going to be a record, but we're moving right along here. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Mr. Clevenger.
Mayor, Council, thank you. Not much tonight. I just wanted to kind of reiterate what Councilman Zimmer was saying, just regarding the going after the grants. Tonight, you saw we were able to go after a number more. We were also accepted a number of those. We have been getting pretty fortunate. I really do hope that the one we get, which has been a lot of work on that Wyoming wastewater, on the wastewater treatment plant, because that's would be a very big help with the increasing costs that we've had and with the rates that we're having to put in there. But they're working hard across all departments, each and every one of them, to not only get the 50-50, but the 90-10 and the full 100% one. So thank you for your support on those.
Thanks, Reed. Mr. City Attorney, Galen?
I have no report tonight, Your Honor.
Well, thank you, Galen. Who would like to start? Councilman Kilpack.
I have nothing, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Bushman.
I just want to give a shout out to Park and Rec. I actually was walking my dog and they're out there Monday morning cleaning by the splash park, and they just do amazing work. They really do. And they keep, like, that's why you're national, man. National award. I love it. But no, I like that they take pride and they clean up, and I really like that. And I appreciate that. If you can tell that to the Monday crew, if you don't mind, pass it on. And I also want to just let everyone know, thank you for the report, Steve. The unemployment around here is 3.2. That is amazing. It hasn't been like that since, I think I quoted 2008. It's unheard of, and that's under national. So good job for Wyoming. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Berg.
I just want to say how great it is to come to a council meeting and there be 4 grants on one meeting. I think first year I was on council, we might have had 4 grants all year. So it's great to see those, and to just tell staff, great job for looking for these. I mean, anywhere from $2,500 to $7.5 million we approved for grant funding tonight. So that is awesome. Great job. Thank you.
Thanks, Councilman Berg. Councilman Zimmerman.
I said it before, but I want to thank Steve for your report for the when the department heads meet. Boy, that just keeps us attuned to everything when we're asked by constituents. And I want to join Councilwoman Bushman tonight for the Parks and Rec. If you read that report and you see how much Brad has on his plate, it's amazing with all the employees and all the work that gets done out of that department. So a shout out for Brad Rainey. It's a privilege to be in Green River. So thanks for all your hard work, and shop local, buy American. Thank you.
I thought you were going to forget and I was going to get to say it. So the only thing I have to add is, the Clydesdales are going to be here tomorrow. They start at Hitching Post at 1 o'clock. They're going to end up at the chamber. They're going to go down basically Flaming Gorge, if I understand it correctly. and stop at the local pubs and do delivering, I'm assuming from the Clydesdale, wagon. And I'm sure there's going to be multiple picture opportunities, and it's just a cool thing for sure. I know that one of the places, because I've watched them out my window at City Hall, is they stop in front of the mural right here downtown, which is just a cool picture taking opportunity, obviously. So, stop by if you can. And then I did want to comment, because Reed didn't take this from me. Sales tax this month, $926,118.55. So to remind everybody, we budget 750,000. We got 926,000. That's always good news, and that's has been continuing month by month. It doesn't mean we're out of the woods. It doesn't mean that we've caught up because of the downfalls of COVID. It doesn't mean we've caught up from 2002 decline revenues, but it does mean that we're having a good year. And some of the statistics in the report that Steve gave us from the state today, a 26 page, I think it is, report. There's a lot of good news. And again, it's the same thing. You don't recover overnight from those kinds of things, but we are recovering. And as Councilwoman Bushman said, 3.2% unemployment rate is unheard of. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, moved by Councilman Berg, seconded by Councilman Kilpack. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, everybody.